Okay, these are weep holes. They're supposed to be open like that. Okay, brick is a wonderful building material. It's fireproof. The house can burn down and you can reuse the brick. Maintenance free if you don't paint it and you don't need to repoint it. Very good insulator. But it's also porous. That's a characteristic of brick. So we have these weep holes. And most of the time, they allow vapor to escape. That's all you'll see. You won't see water coming out of it. You have an event. I've seen an event or two. You have an event, then it might be a different story. But I hope you don't. I've seen one or two. Coming along, this is the front porch. And the sconces are sealed. These are called lintels. These metal plates that hold the brick up. And anytime you have a lintel that is supporting brickwork, then you should have weep holes. We do not have weep holes around anywhere on the front porch. We do not have weep holes over our lintels. We do not have weep holes around our columns. We don't. My client asked me earlier, says, well, is that something you can do later? And you can. You can. I've learned that you can. I had my doubts earlier on in my career, but I've since learned that we just drill holes in the mortar, past the brick, but no further than the brick, as far as the brick, but no further than the brick, and we just create the weep holes. So it's a pretty easy retrofit. It's not that difficult. You see the water over here? Okay, that's not drainage. We need good, healthy drainage for our homes. It's important for the structure's performance, the foundation, for example. It's important for your quality of life, with the lawnmowers going through there, your grandchildren playing in that, making mud pies. It's important because mosquitoes breed in that. It's called West Nile disease. This is not drainage. A lot of times, and I'm not saying this builder wouldn't do that, no. But they say, well, if it doesn't dry in 48 hours, we consider that a problem. Well, whether a swamp dries or not is really not even a discussion. Okay? We're talking about drainage. It's supposed to drain. By definition, that is not drainage. That's a problem. And that's a known problem. That's a known problem. We've got some unknowns here. See the connectors for the balcony deck above us? All right. We know we have hangers. We know we've got connectors. Coming along here, we don't have any idea. Any idea. And I'm going to get up here and look a little bit because I'm not seeing flashing. Okay? I'm not seeing flashing for the deck. I don't know how this was hung. This is called a ledger board. It's supposed to be installed with lag bolts. I don't see any lag bolts. Is it just supported from here to here and then you don't need a lag bolt? You need flashing. Something's not copacetic here. And this is just plain sneaky. We don't know what's holding that. Is the brick holding that up? Surely not. I don't know, but let's look at the details here. See the hanger? Well, it's not exactly flush. It kind of sticks out a little bit, doesn't it? Yeah, we're not miking this in. This is kind of a crude connection. Look at the brick. See how smooth that is? Is there a connector in there? I don't know. Moving along, we're not doing wood destroying insect reports. The house is too new, but if I was doing a wood destroying insect report, I would say that you have wood mulch too close to the structure. Subterranean termites, where do they live? In the ground. What do they eat? Dead wood. What's mulch? Dead wood next to the house that the termites in the ground eat. Oh, that's what it is. That's what it is. This is a magnolia tree. I don't know much about trees. I only know magnolia trees and potato trees. That's about the only two trees I know. But that said, a tree, and I know it's just a cute little kitten. That cute little kitten's going to grow up to be a nasty old tomcat. Magnolia trees get big. And trees, even these little, those oak or cedar, I can't tell. I don't know. It's not why I'm here. But even these trees shouldn't be placed closer than 25 feet to the structure. Now I get it. Neighbors got some, neighbors got some, neighbors got some. You probably have a homeowners association that says that you've got to have at least these two trees here. Probably have that. I don't know. You might not have a choice, an option. I'm just telling you that trees shouldn't be so close. Now it's difficult to tell because we've had rain and more rain and some rain after that. But the way I'm seeing the moss grow over here, this looks more than just natural runoff. I know the ground is saturated. I've been in these irrigation boxes. You'll see. They're full of water. Well, you'll see. But I'm thinking the lawn sprinkler system's bleeding out right in here. That's what I'm thinking. That zone is bleeding out. They sell special heads with little check valves in them. They don't cost many. They don't cost hardly anything. And that's, and you would install these and they'd hold the water instead of losing the water in your sprinkler system. Coming on along, this siding is in direct contact with the roof covering. We do not have kick-out flashing here. Coming along, these columns, and this is the same on the patio if I don't have enough battery. Kind of things to come. Okay. These columns don't fit on the foundation real well. You think termites are going to love crawling up in there? I do. You think water vapor is going to crawl up in there, cause you some deterioration over time? I do. That's what I think. What I can't tell underneath these stands, and I asked my clients if they could remember or recall, so this is soil wood to ground contact. Wood to ground contact. Not good. Stands. Metal stands should have been installed underneath these structures to elevate them up so that water doesn't wick up off the cement, off the concrete, and come up into the wall section. See the way the garage, the garage car entry vertical casement, see the way that's cut back like that? Alright, well they did that so that water doesn't wick up and rot. They learned. We learned these things. We also need to make some provisions so that we don't have the same failures on our wooden columns. Now over the garage car entry, we find that we have weep holes. Finally getting some weep holes going. We don't have any on the stone over here. We do have weep holes. We started noticing, they started showing up right about here. But if we go upstairs with the keystone, there isn't a weep hole up there either. But they just started right here. They said, oh, forgot something. We need to... Something like that happened. Now see how smooth the foundation perimeter is right there? That's called parging. It's a parge coat. They smoothed it over to make it look real nice. It's decorative, and there's really nothing wrong with it. Really nothing wrong with it. Moving along, we are now facing the west side of the home. There's the gas meter. It's just 6 inches off the ground. This is called a control joint, like the street has lines in it. We expect this much brick to move. We're in North Texas, so we want to create, a place to relieve the stress so we don't get those stair-step cracks looking crazy all over your house. You probably get some of those anyway, but this is the whole idea, is this to stop this. This needs to be sealed, resealed every couple of years. But look in there. You think water can get in that? I do. You think water can get in that? I sure do. That's what I think. I think it needs to be resealed. I think water can get in that too. Look at that. Now here's an idea. We're going to jump around to the air conditioning here for a moment. This is a fresh air induction vent because it's a tight house. We got to introduce exterior air, and it goes through an exchange, and so that the house, we don't have sick house syndrome. And up north, I am told that they don't have screens on these. In fact, this one doesn't have a screen. It's got a grid on it. That's even better. Never mind. That's going to go through a big, long, unnecessary story. That'll work down here. That'll work up there. That'll work everywhere. Back and sealing the walls again, because I just can't let this go. Think water's going to get in there? I do. You're going to see that once or twice more. I'm just having some fun with it. Remember the grading and drainage story I was giving? Look at this. You think water's been draining? Maybe a little better than the other side. I'll give it that. Squish, squish, squish. Think water's been sitting in there? You know, it's a quality of life thing. If you don't address this, it's going to come back and bite you in the butt. And the builder's going to be long gone. He's going to be long gone. The builder's going to say, I don't know. This builder wouldn't say that. But some builders, they say, well, our warranty company doesn't have a problem with this. Our warranty company doesn't have a problem with this. Oh, well, that's nice to know. Well, who owns your warranty company? ABC? Huh. Well, who owns your company? Doesn't ABC own your company? Yeah, but they're different. They're different entities under an umbrella. Squish, squish. I am dying in here. They're different companies. One hand doesn't wash the other. It's not like that. Right. Right. I'm so glad you're not going to hear a story like that. I'm so glad that's just, you know. Right here, we should have kick-out flashing. Moving on along. And this is crazy. I got friends all over the world. Well, not all over the world, but England home inspectors, English, Australian home inspectors. And this brickwork right up in here, well, that would drive them crazy. They can't talk about air conditioning like we can in the United States. But they can talk about some brick. Oh boy, can they. This is the weather sensor for your lawn sprinkler system. Got some Canadian home inspector friends. Okay, this yard, this is called a swale. Alright, and the builder's going to say that this swale is what causes all the water to drain around and away from your house. And it will if it's made properly. If it's made properly, it can perform. And personally, I like low maintenance. I like low maintenance, less mechanical issues. That might not be an option. Using an underground downspout might be the best way to, correct the swamp issues on both the sides of the house, the east and the west sides of the house. We should have kick-out flashing right here. Now this is interesting. This is interesting. This is your chimney. This is your air intake vent, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that as per the manufacturer's installation instructions. But isn't that supposed to go around a 2x4, that boot right there? Isn't this supposed to be installed a little farther in the house instead of hanging off the side like that? Huh. To be honest, I'm going to have to look it up. I just had my ladder up here and I was looking down and I'm going like, whoa. Huh. Interesting. Just like the front porch, these columns, I don't know if there's wood metal stands underneath them or not. Excuse me, not the front porch, excuse me, the garage car entry. And much like the garage car entry, they just hang over to the side of the patio. You think water vapor is not going to run? You think those thermodynamics don't apply? We live in some kind of a magical world? No, I don't. I don't think we live in a magical world at all. A wondrous world. These are double pane vinyl frame windows. Alright, very energy efficient, very good to have. Alright. You probably want a little more sealant right there where you got a mortar hole. These windows are engineered, they're designed, okay? All roofs leak. Home ownership 101, all walls leak. We design them to shed water faster than they accept it. So these windows are notched out so any water that gets inside the window comes this way, not the other way, not inside, comes outside. That's why our weeps have these little traps, okay? And that'll let moisture out just like these weeps. Most of the time it's water vapor, I get that. Maybe bugs and debris, probably not. But anyway, that's what those are. And you can buy these, just a whole sack of them for a few bucks. You know. Coming over here, where's our trap? Huh, there's a trap there. Imagine that. Coming along here, where's our traps? Now, this is a few years back, but it left an impression on me. I was in a vacant house, much like this one. Only it was a windy early March day, and the wind was just kicking. And I'm in the house by myself, and it starts making all these weird sounds. I thought the house was haunted. I did. Come to find out, it wasn't haunted at all. Come to find out, the wind was blowing through these, and then the wind was playing the building's windows like a flute. Come to find out, that's what we had. So it's good to know. So that's why you might want to put some of those little gizmos in there. Gizmo's not the right word. I apologize for that. Weird traps. Weird traps on your weep holes. Now we're back almost where we started. Almost where we started. Squish, squish, squish. Squish, squish, squish. Squish, squish, squish. Another control joint. Some people call them expansion joints. Coming on along. This is a good place. The layout for the siding was pretty good, I gotta say. But I can look up inside of here. Look up inside of it. That's called a butt seam. Anytime you have a butt seam, there's supposed to be flashing tape behind it. Huh. And then right here, that's the secondary drain line. For the air conditioning system, it's directly over a window. We're going to have another video where it wasn't on the other side of the house. We're on the east side of the house. On the west side of the house, it wasn't so strategically placed. I like using that word, strategy. Okay. Moving on along. This is where we started, right here in this swamp. Started in the swamp. What comes out of the swamp goes back to the swamp.